They said morning would come like every other day. The roosters would crow, the smoke from the kitchens would rise, and the children would run to the stream. But that morning, only one boy opened his eyes. His name was Tari. He was 12, quiet, and often slept outside under the mango tree. When he woke up, he noticed something strange. There was no sound, no rooster, no talking, no pots. He rubbed his eyes and looked around. The sun was already high, but the whole village was still. He called out, "Mama!" No answer. He ran to his mother's hut. She was lying on her mat, breathing but not awake. He shook her shoulders. Nothing. He ran to his neighbors, one after another. Everyone was asleep. By noon, he had gone through all 20 huts. Every single person, from the oldest man to the youngest child, slept like they were under a spell. Tari sat in the middle of the village square. His heart pounded. He shouted again and again, hoping someone would wake. But the only reply was the echo of his own voice. That night, he lit a small fire beside his sleeping mother. He didn't eat. He didn't speak. He just waited. When morning came again, nothing changed. For 3 days, he tried everything. Drumming, shouting, throwing water. But no one moved. On the 4th day, he saw something strange near the stream. A figure, a young girl, standing by the water looking at him. She wore a red scarf and smiled when their eyes met. Tari ran to her, tears of relief filling his eyes. "You're awake too," he shouted, but when he reached her she was gone. Only the red scarf lay on the ground. He picked it up, holding it tight. It was real. It was warm. And from that moment, he knew he wasn't completely alone. That night, he dreamed for the first time since everyone fell asleep. He saw the same girl. She said softly, "The village isn't sleeping, Tari. It's remembering." He woke up sweating. The scarf was still in his hand. The next morning, he decided he couldn't just wait anymore. He packed some food, tied the scarf to his wrist, and left the village, hoping to find answers. Tari walked for 2 days through the dry grasslands. The wind was silent, and even the birds were gone. He saw no other people, no travelers, no traders, nothing. On the 3rd day, he reached another settlement. Or what was left of it. The huts were broken, the wells dry, and the doors hanging open. Inside he found people too, all asleep, just like in his village. He counted 7 of them. He realized then that this wasn't just his village. The whole region might be asleep. He found food in an old hut, dried maize, roots, and a jar of water. He sat outside staring at the setting sun. That was when he heard a whisper, "Tari." He turned around quickly. No one was there. Then he saw her again. The girl with the red scarf. She stood by a tree watching him quietly. This time she didn't disappear. "Who are you?" he asked. "My name is Nia," she said. "And I've been waiting for you." Tari frowned. "Waiting for me? Why?" "Because you're the only one still awake. And soon you won't be." Tari took a step back. "What do you mean?" "The world sleeps when it forgets what it's done," she said softly. "But you were outside the village when the forgetting began." Tari didn't understand, but he could tell she wasn't lying. "Can I wake them up?" he asked. She looked down. "Only if you remember what they chose to forget." "Remember what?" he asked. "The truth about the night before they slept." Tari didn't sleep that night. He stayed close to the fire, afraid that if he closed his eyes, he would join the rest of the world in its long sleep. When the sky turned grey, he asked Nia to tell him what happened before everyone went silent. Nia looked at him for a long time before she spoke. "Your people did something terrible, Tari. It started with a promise they broke. She told him that 10 years ago, before he was born, a drought came over the land. Crops died, rivers dried, and people began to fight over water. The elders of his village went to the mountain of spirits to beg for rain. There, they met a woman dressed in white who told them she could save them if they gave her one thing: their memory of her. The elders agreed. Rain came, life returned. But as the woman faded away, she warned them, "The day you remember me, the world will sleep." Years passed, and the story of that deal was forgotten, until one evening an old man, half crazy with guilt, told everyone what really happened that night. He said the woman in white was not a spirit. She was one of their own who had been cast out long ago for being different. When he spoke her name, everyone who heard it felt a chill, and the next morning they didn't wake up. Tari listened, his body cold. "What was her name?" he asked. Nia shook her head. "If I say it, you'll sleep too." Tari wanted to believe her, but part of him wanted to test it. He looked around at the still village, the unmoving people, and said, "If no one remembers, how can I fix it?" Nia sighed. "You must go back to your village, Tari. Find the old well. What you see there will tell you what to do." Before Tari could ask more, the wind picked up. Dust covered his eyes. When he looked again, Nia was gone. The journey back took 2 days. When he reached home, the village was still the same. Silent, peaceful, asleep. He went straight to the old well in the center. It was dry, but at the bottom he could hear something faint, like whispering. He found a long rope and tied it to a tree, then climbed down. The air inside was cold. At the bottom he saw water glimmering faintly, even though the well was supposed to be empty. When he touched the surface, it rippled, showing faces, the faces of his people, all sleeping, their eyes moving slowly as if dreaming. He shouted, "Wake up!" But the only thing that answered was his own echo. Then a voice spoke behind him. "You shouldn't have come here, Tari." He turned. It was the woman in white. She looked gentle, but her eyes were sad. "Why are they asleep?" he asked. "Because they forgot me," she said. "They took from me and left me to die in the drought. They buried the truth, and so I buried their waking." "But I didn't do anything," he said. "Please let them go." She looked at him closely. "You're different. You were not part of their promise. You can make it right." Tari knelt beside her. "How?" She held out her hand. "Remember me. Remember what they did. Speak my name and the world will wake." "But you won't." He hesitated. "I'll die." She nodded. "Someone must pay what was owed." He looked at the sleeping faces in the water. His mother, his friends, everyone he had ever known. He took a deep breath and said, "Tell me your name." She whispered it, and everything went dark. When the sun rose, the people of the village began to stir. One by one, they opened their eyes. They had no idea they'd been asleep for 10 years. They stretched, smiled, and called each other's names, thinking it was just another morning. But Tari's mother noticed something. His mat was empty. His shoes were gone. She searched every hut, then ran to the well. The rope he'd tied was still there. When she called his name, her voice echoed back. Faint, almost like a whisper from deep below. For a moment, she thought she heard him say, "It's okay, Mama. Wake them up." Tears filled her eyes. She looked around. The red scarf hung from the tree beside the well, moving gently in the wind. From that day on, people said the well sometimes whispered, not words of fear, but reminders. Reminders of promises. Reminders of names that shouldn't be forgotten. And every year, when the wind passed over the fields, The villagers stopped whatever they were doing, looked at the sky, and said softly, "Thank you, Tari."